and they'll give you feedback. You are like, oh, during my discover process, I did not actually research on this aspect. Then you will now go back to your research phase again. And when you're done, you're like, okay, let me define the problem I'm about to work on for this insight you got at this stage. You ideate on solutions to work on that problem, and you deliver the solution again for another set of testing. When you're done, you might find out something else that you have to. That is why even up to this moment, Facebook keeps when you go to a Facebook app, like the Facebook you just upgraded, how is it called, like update, yes, you just updated that version on your Google Play Store. Before next week you are hearing that you should update this thing again. Why? Because they added few features that was not there before. They corrected the bug. They are always they are always testing the product to make sure that it is meeting the needs of their users. So this is a brief explanation of everything I explained there. Discovery. This is the stage where you empathize with your users. You try to learn more about the challenge you're trying to tackle. You engage stakeholders, users, your potential users through usability studies, interviews, creating surveys, etc. Define stage. This is a stage where you articulate, you prioritize the problem, scope of work to be done using the insights you gathered from the discovery phase, right? Then you move over to the develop stage. This is the stage where you start to ideate and experiment on different solutions for the problems you defined. Then you deliver. This is the stage where a solution has been decided on and then tested with the end users and stakeholders involved. I'm sorry, let me add with this person. Okay, then your solution might be in form of high fidelity wireframes, like I mentioned, like high fidelity wireframes. Are, let's say you're a designer, you've designed the entire website, like the entire web layout, how you want it to look. You've added the colors, you've added the interactions, the pictures, and all the images you want to be on that website, and make your prototype interactive. You link your buttons. Let's say this button, if I click, you take me to this web page. If I click, you take me back. So yes, that's what it means for you to create high fidelity wireframes and interactive prototypes. Then the solutions that do not work here are then iterated upon to improve them. You go back to your research phase and look at how you can make those solutions work. So in conclusion, right, there is actually no hard or fast rule when it comes to the design process. The major rule is for you to understand that how the entire process works and how you can tweak it to suit a particular project. That's why I say there is no fast or hard rule. You just have to understand the process, like understand it and make it inborn in you, so that when you want to attack a particular problem, you know that first you have to research, you have to empathize with the users that you want this solution to work for. And then after your research, you have to define the particular problem that you want to work on. So you will not be working on 100 things at a time, and at the end of the day, you end up achieving nothing, right? So after you've defined that problem, you go over to ideate on different solutions that you think might work for this problem. When you are done ideating on these different solutions, you now move on to the stage where you now work on these solutions that you have ideated on. When you are done ideating on these solutions, working on these solutions, you will now propose them to be used as a solution. All right. At this stage, I will like to take questions. Is there anything you do not understand? Is there anything you want me to throw more light on? Please kindly ask. Thank you very much. I hope I have not been talking to myself. Do you have any questions? Okay.
Good evening, everybody.
Yeah, good evening.
I, I just
No,
Wanted to ask, I wanted
it's
you
like
to
man.
like throw more lights about web design, about front-end web design. Thanks very much.
Okay, I can do someone else's phone is ringing on that phone.
I should throw more light on what?
On web design, front end.
Web design. Okay.
Okay.
Do you have any other question?
Hello.
I can hear you. You can proceed.
What's this? Well, deep dude, look at the size of that pumpkin. The biggest pumpkins make the best gummy goo, and that one is the biggest I've ever seen. I can make ooey gooey pumpkin pranks for months. Ooh, I must have it. There you go. Two lemonades, please. Coming right up. Pretty cold, Lynn. Sorry, sir. I'll have to come back for those later. Excuse me. Pardon me. I lost my mom. I'll help you find her. Aren't you a beauty? Just you all
Um,
pops you up.
Sorry, Gabriel. You asked that I throw more light on web design. Is it web design as a whole, or is there any particular area of web design that you want me to throw more light on? I think I thought on design process, but I could still make a few explanations on web design, and maybe we'll just create a different event for web design as a whole, so that I can extensively discuss that topic. All right, because web design is actually a broad field. So I don't know which part you want me to throw more light on.
What's the matter with our pumpkin? I can't let him get away with this. It's time to spring spray.
Nora, you can go ahead and ask your question, please.
I'll make so much gobbledygook from this pumpkin. I'll prank everyone in the city. It's going to be delicious.
Hello, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yeah, good evening. I can hear you.
Thanks for the hard work. I'm in the core team members of my Google Student Club in my university. So thank you a lot for what you give us information. Can you share with us the slide that your colleague have showing us, please?
Sure, it will be made available for you. I will send the link. You're on the SSA group, right? Or where did you get the
Yeah.
link? Okay, so I would. Can you send me a direct message on WhatsApp so that I can forward it to you when I get access?
No, I'm not in WhatsApp. I came here from the website of
Okay,
the
from the
Google.
Google website. All right.
Yeah, yeah,
Elliot, can you send our WhatsApp group here so that you can access it and request for it that way? Or I'm sure Shizuki can also prepare the link before we round off so that he can send sort of the document here if possible.
yeah.
All right.
And you guys can receive any question about UI/UX because I'm interested in this one.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, so, Chijoke, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, is it possible to get the files ready?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
definitely.
so you can stop sharing so that you can do work with your screen if you need to. All right.
All right.
Sorry, I don't want to pronounce your name wrongly, but you raised your hand. Can you ask the question? I think Binatari, I believe so.
Yeah, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
It's been a time. Thank you very much. I am a beginner here, and I'm also interested in what you're doing. I wanted to ask if there will be subsequent classes for everybody. Also that will be beneficial to beginners too. Please.
Yes, there would be subsequent classes. Elliot, can you also send the WhatsApp link for UI UX, you know, field or team so that those that are specifically interested in UI UX can also join there, and subsequently would also communicate and handle trainings through the group there also. Okay, you're still raising your hand. You can ask a question. Okay, Vicky.
Okay, hello.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Okay, so I'm Victor actually. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear
Okay,
you. Good evening.
I want to ask a question because I was thinking of a design actually. Although I was taking this UX design course from Google. It was also this Google scholarship, and I was now. Let me ask this question: if somebody has a design that is working on, and most of the like it's a new concept of an app that is not um social media app, not even, but it's like a different app on its own that does not have any one any does not have anywhere you can look to replicate and design it. How can somebody go forward? Because it's actually getting me like I don't know how you can explain it. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm
Hello?
sure Chijoke will answer that question now.
Because
Yes, I
this
can
app
hear you.
okay, because this is just like a lending app, but it's not the normal social lending app that are available. And when I searched, I went online. There is nothing in that this thing I can use to even this normal lending app. It's not like that normal lending app. So how can a UX designer now get inspiration or get a pattern of design to design such apps that are not online?
All right. Let me take that. When it comes to the UX design process, right? First, you will need to consider the features that you want on that app, right? Most times,
Okay.
Una finish the
let me
bread.
take an instance. Let's
Una
say
no even remain
Facebook.
small
When
for me.
Facebook came into existence, there was probably no other social
I
network
was
like
here.
that, but they
I'm supposed
designed
to be giving
Facebook
to
from
him.
scratch and made it a working
And
document for almost anybody that wants to design
yeah,
anything
shut up.
related to
I
social
wasn't.
network. So
Um,
when you want to work on a
you
project
raise
that
hand like
more or
this now.
less has
I'm
not
also
been
this.
existing, right? How you are going to
Um,
approach it is
Pour
most
it in
times you are
Bruno's
not going
food.
to
I'll
see
wash it down.
um, an exact project like that you can replicate or you can use as inspiration. But there has to be features that you want to be on that your products that are already existing on different products. So you have
Okay.
to break
Okay.
down, yes, you have to break down that
Okay.
your product into the different features that you're trying to achieve. And then you look at products that are already um, solving those particular problems, those features that
Okay.
you're trying to implement. And then you take
Yes.
inspirations from there. And of course, you are the designer, you now tweak it to fit into the product that you're trying to work on. And boom, you have a
Okay.
product.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope
Okay.
I answered that.
Okay. Yes, I never thought of that actually. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay. Do we have any other questions, please?
Yes, please.
Okay, Daniel, you can go ahead.
Okay, if I want to start with creating my website or creating my app like that, so which software or tool can I use to start building?
Sorry, I don't understand. Like you want when you want to start designing or when you want to start developing, which one?
Designing.
Okay. When it comes to designing an app or a website, everybody has the one that works best for them. Most people use Figma, like I use Figma. Some people use Adobe XD. I've even had somebody say they use Photoshop. Though I've been wondering how they use Photoshop to design websites though, but in the industry, Figma and Adobe XD are highly recommended. So if you are trying to toe the path of being a product designer or a UI UX designer, you have to get familiar with the products that are like the industry standard for designing for you to work in that field, right? So for UI UX, I would say Figma and Adobe XD. There are probably other products, but these are the two that I know works. I don't know whether I
Okay, thank
answered
you.
that, Daniel.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. All right. Um,
Okay, sorry.
the five for all right.
Bet Bertramson was asking a question. I don't know if he's still online. Can you explain? You said front end web designing, right? Can you please throw more light on front end? Front end. Okay. Let me assume this question is coming from not having an idea of the different aspects in development. So I'm going to explain it in that way, just a bit, so that you can get a clue. Then you can now ask your question properly, to so that we can answer it effectively. So now in design, in development, you have several stages. Most persons will quantify it into four stages, while some five stages, depending on how you want to look at it. But first of all, I will start with the idea. First of all, you have an idea, you have what you want to build, you know it in your mind. I want to do this, like the illustration is said, a kind of a bike, Uber, right, where people can access those things. Then you move on to design. So now this course now is, on that line of the design, which is sort of the second stage. The idea, there is a stage called research and all those kind of things, but I'm skipping it and merging it into idea and design. So the design, this is where you use these tools. So mostly it's like drawing or sketching, but you're using tools to draw, drag and drop. Couple of years ago they used Photoshop, right? Now Photoshop, you'd have your 12 grid layouts. So they use it to design maybe static web pages and the layout for responsive mobile and all the rest. But design and development and these processes got more advanced than just having a static, because Photoshop is for static pictures. So for just having a static pictures, people wanted more, and people wanted something that's, even though it's a design, is more interactive. So the advent of Figma and Adobe XD came into the picture, where you can not only just design things, but you can design it in such a way that it is interactive. So there's something called prototyping, and when you do that in just maybe Figma or Adobe XD, you can have a collection of, I would say, these resources. I don't want to use the word images, but if I want to simplify it, it's more like images, but you can click on a particular segment of that image, which is probably a button or something, and it will behave the way the app would behave, right? So you kind of simulate, right? You simulate, you are able to see what the app will feel like and be like in the UI side. That means the user interface. So all the things everybody interacts with using any application, you're able to see it. So when you have this kind of tools, you are able to put together the components, the different menus, images, and links and several things. So you are able to feel the way it will using is actually developed, right? So then the next part, like I said, you can expand it more and have different segments, but I'll move into the front end development. So now there is the UI UX design, right? UI UX simply means user interface and user experience. User experience is more like the friendliness. How good is it? How easy is it to use? UI is more like the appealing. Is it beautiful? Is it nice to look at? Then the experience level is how easy it is to use. Is it confusing to use and all those kind of things. So, but now another field or another set of individuals learn what you call the front end development. Now, the front end development now takes this UI UX that have been done by this other team or the second stage that I mentioned, we'll take that design. So look at that, that layout, look at the colors, look at the position of the button, the alignment, and several other things that have been done by these UI UX guys. And they will now use codes to interpret that into the machine, because now the pictures or the Figma design, project work, or whatever that's given to you is not what the HTTP and HTTP protocol will interpret for you as your website. So you have to use codes to rebuild that thing you see. So more like looking at a picture and using code to interpret it or recreate it. So that process now is now the web front end development, right? So you have the web front end development. Then you go further there, you now have the back end development. So mostly these guys work on things you don't see, but is what makes things possible. For example, you can see my card, right? You can see my image card as I'm talking, and you're seeing sort of animation. All those aesthetics are all front end development. But now, as I talk, my audio from where I am is converted, compressed, and transmitted to probably a server, and sent back to you. All those data. So data handling basically. So image data, audio data, text data, whatever data you transmit, you communicate with, you consume, fine tuning your search so that when you search something, when you come back later on, Google still remembers that you made the search. All those things are back end development. So I could go further, but I don't want to go more advanced beyond that. I think beyond that, you probably go into DevOps. So basically, these are the different development stages. So depending on what you want to ask. So if you want to ask on UI UX, it should be on the aesthetics. So, but if you want to learn more, like I said, this is just a first of its kind. And if you are able to disturb us as much as possible, we organize trainings and courses that will be fine-tuned to your learning preference or to your preference. So you probably want to be a UI UX designer or a product designer, or you want to be a front end developer or a back end developer or a DevOps, and etc. etc. So just simply stay tuned. So from my explanation, I don't know if it was very confusing for you, but if Bertramson is still here, you can now specify your question if you're talking about front end as UI UX. Is this still on the chat? Okay. All right. Sims is not here. Okay. Thank you so much, Gabriel. Okay. So is there any more questions, please? Okay. You can ask your question. I'm seeing two persons raising their hand.
Okay, my question is, you said you can provide us resources. So I want to ask, what type of resources is that?
Okay, thank you. So depending on the resources you want. So if you want UI UX design, or if you even want Python development, so we'll provide you links to have a video resource documentation. Then also we organize trainings to discuss, maybe if, for example, in your UI UX, those of you that will join the UI UX track, and maybe there's an ensuing challenge within while you're learning and during the workshop, and it's something that is seen to be very consistent, we can have a, a live event where we can work on those things together so that you can have maximum benefit from across board, right? Then if you need video resources, then workshop materials also, and even this presentation materials, all these are resources. Then also, if it is something that's bigger than us, right, within the community, within the lead, we can also outsource this. Now, the GDSC community is, cross-board. You can go online and search about it. It is in several universities in Nigeria, several universities across Africa, and some outside, Africa. So you have several techies with different level of experience. So if it's something we don't know, we can outsource it and get somebody that will come and explain it to you and teach you as best as possible, as we can get the information to you. So this community is more like, building your tech career and building also your affluence and network in tech. I don't know if that answered. Okay, thank you so much. Okay. All right, thank you. Opene answered Vicky live question. So Flutter is not a design tool; it's a development tool for mobile, cross-platform mobile application. Any other question concerning the course we have this evening? Okay, you can ask. Gabriel, you're raising your hand. I don't know.
Yes, I just wanted to ask about web development. Currently now I'm using WPHP to learn. I wanted to ask if there is any other website which I can use to learn web development.
Okay, websites to learn web development. Did I get that question right?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
I'll probably compile some resources and send to you. Is that fine?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
I'll probably send it on the group. You're on the web dev group, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we'll send someone that link there.